I'm Jimmy Ward and welcome to a special video talking about the latest game, Watchdogs. As you can tell from the title of the video, Watchdog is disappointing, and hell, it certainly is. Now, if you've seen some of my past videos, you know I've been really hyped for this game, really looking forward to it. The marketing has been phenomenal in terms of really showing the shit out of this game. I remember the very first demos in 2012 for the game. It looked really fantastic. I love the idea of hacking in an open world game and tracking down criminals and crimes and going from the idea from combat to stealth. It seemed really freaking cool, and I was just seriously pumped for this game, like a lot of other people were, more so than GTA 5, which a lot of people were really excited for last year's game. When it got delayed from December or from last year to May recently, I was like, okay, maybe go back to the drawing board a little bit, do some improvements, some tweaking, make the game even better. And I don't mind if games are delayed or films are delayed or whatnot to make the film better, which is fine. But wow, I mean, when I played the game, I was engrossed into it. I was enjoying it for the first couple of missions. I thought the first opening mission was interesting, the tutorial and getting used to the character, and straight away get into this kind of revenge story, which I thought was pretty good, well acted, well voice acted anyway, and I thought the mechanics and things like that, gameplay was pretty sound and pretty fun. Hacking CCTV cameras, things like that. Doing a kind of Splinter Cell kind of targeting system. Activating grenades on enemies, things like that, and actually allowing you to do whatever you want to do in that type of situation. You can go full on guns blazing with the shooting, with the combat mechanics, which I think the combat is absolutely fantastic in this game for sure. It sounds really good, feels really good, and I love the variety of weapons. The silencer weapon is very satisfying, very Splinter Cell, very Hitman style. The camera work is fantastic. You pre-plan your attacks, things like that. So the opening had a lot of potential, and I really was invested in the story straight away, and the character was, for the opening part, was pretty good. And I was like, okay, motion, these some of the reasons why he's doing this, and the setup, and who the villains are and things like that. But as you start playing the game, it starts getting a bit predictable and a bit boring, and it just became a bit of a drag to play. A lot of the cool stuff in the game, like the side quests, there's one tracking down a serial killer, there's one with a human trafficking ring, there's these kind of CTF kind of digital hack codes, things like that you can do. Most of them are pretty fun, but they're the same clones, of what you've just done. So, like in Angry Joe, like he said in his review, and I do agree with some of the last things they did, was the human trafficking side mission. There's 10 of them to do. Tracking down a buyer, track down the briefcase and scan it, do a little hacking mission and then scan the briefcase, you're done. And it's 10 times you gotta do that. It's a long time to do it, and it's a bit boring, it's a bit bland. Basically leading up to a kind of, a convoy kind of escape mission, and it's kind of boring in a sense. I think the gang hideouts and the actual prisoner convoy missions are the two best ones you can do in the entire game, mainly because they are pretty fun and they do allow you to do it in any way you want. I always like planning them and scoping them and doing the really cool takedowns, things like that, and it's really cool. And I like the prison convoy missions because I think they're cool to do grenade launches, things like that. My main issues of the game is just the characters, and the story is very average, very forgettable. I've finished playing it and I've already completely forgot what the storyline is practically. There's characters in this game which, some of the side some of the side characters are pretty likeable. You got T-Bone, this kind of legendary hacker guy, which I think he's one of the best characters in the entire game, maybe because I like his dialogue, I like his fun interacting with the world, especially his pretty awesome scrapyard mission, which I think is one of the best missions of the entire game in terms of the music, in terms of the hacking and combat you can do. I think it's pretty sound. And his DLC missions, I'm curious to see if they're really good or not, perfectly honest, but I think he was one of the best characters of the entire game. You got this kind of other Japanese kind of hitman, kind of a contractor, which I think his dialogue is really funny, really underused character, and especially how they used him towards the end was a bit confusing. Wasn't quite sure what that entailed exactly. You got other characters in this game. You got the I think Clara, which kind of this kind of psycho, punk tattoo woman that's a hacker. I felt her character was good, but not enough character development was given to some of these ones. I mean, T-Bone, you can understand his background, there's enough of it there with the DLCs as well, definitely. Clara, I didn't really see her character that much, I didn't really care about her character, and it kind of leads to some of the problems in it, especially towards some of the main missions where you're gonna get the main game is broken up into kind of like 5 acts in a sense, and there's like, you know, multiple different ones. I think Act 1 has like 14 missions or something along those lines. Act 2 has 9 missions in it, and a lot of them are very similar. There's a lot of driving, a lot of sneaking about. Some of them are pretty cool than others. It comes like a very simple basic formula, and after a while it's like, I don't care anymore. There is some pretty well done moments. That it is a fun game. It does add to the open world experience. It does something a little different. The hacking is awesome once you upgrade your of course your perks and things like that. You know, once you get all the full benefits of the hacking, like steam pipes and, you know, bridges and things like that. And, you know, I think one of the cool ways of killing off one of the main villains in the game was pretty freaking sweet. But once you finish the game, it's just kind of like, that's it. You know, they're saving their best bits mainly for the sequel, and I can see what they're going to do for a sequel, but it's like, the last couple of missions I thought were dragging, a bit boring, not really exciting, a bit annoying in all fairness, and again, just saving the last bits for the end. Technically, there's only 4 actual chapters really. The 5th one is a bonus one after the credits, which is a kind of like a choice basically, but even that's like, I don't care. It doesn't really affect anything to do with the storyline. It doesn't give you anything, like, you know, it's basically just you as a person, what would you choose, and it's like, I don't really care in all fairness. I would say pick up the game when it's a little bit cheaper. I would say, you know, wait until the price goes down, wait until the hype goes down a little bit. It's a fun game. It does have something which makes it different from most open world games, and I think the environments and the locations are pretty cool, but after a while the actual city itself looks exactly the same. It's always a very nighttime setting, or it's a very rainy setting, things like that, and it's all the same colours and the same building, you know, textures and things like that. Apart from some of the main missions, you know, main campaign missions, you know, you're going to find a lot of the same areas, and you'll be driving a lot in this game, which after playing like, you know, the Saints Row 4, where you can have like completely outrageous powers and really outrageous funny comedy moments, which is probably one of my absolute favourite open world games, it just doesn't cut the mustard in a sense. I think GTA 5 has a couple of little things over this game, definitely, for sure. But, you know, the reasons I felt this is most disappointing is the fact that I was expecting this is next generation, it was hyped over hell. I was looking forward to it last year, and when I got it, didn't quite deliver that much. But it still has a lot of good things about it, which I did like, but it just become predictable, just become a bit boring. Storyline ain't at best, the characters are just completely bland and boring, apart from some of the side characters. There is likeable things in this game, but it has deeply lots of flaws. I would say save your money, wait till it's down in price, go and get Murder Soul Suspects, which I'm currently playing, or I traded in my game for Watchdogs for that game, or go and play Wolfenstein, which I've heard nothing but good things from that game, apart from the ending, of course. But love to know your thoughts and opinions, guys, on Watchdogs. You know, have you played the game? What do you think? Do you think it's disappointing? Do you think it's good? What do you like about it? What do you don't like about it? Comment down below. So in the meantime, I'm Jimmy D. Signing out.